What's up YouTube, and welcome back to another Division 2 build video. Today's video is not only just a build video, but specifically for the newest event, SHD Exposed. So the way this event works is, we'll go through the details really quickly here. Our enemies have created a way to isolate the vision signals and turn them against us. When seen by enemies, agents gain exposure, increasing the damage they take from all attacks. And the rate of this exposure gain increases as the agent moves. However, agents may turn the tables on their opponents by striking them with melee attacks to transfer their exposure. Additionally, a fully exposed agent may discharge their exposure to all nearby enemies by completing a cover-to-cover move. So that pretty much explains it right there. When you're out and the enemy has eyes on you and you're moving around, your exposure goes up and damage you take increases, and it makes the game very interesting. Like it says, you can transfer that exposure and do more amplified damage to the enemies if you hit them with a melee attack, or if you do a cover-to-cover move and transfer that exposure over. So I've been going through a few different builds to see what works the best and what I enjoy the most with this global event, and I found it to be my Heartbreaker build. So first we'll start off with the specialization and go through why we use the specialization. It's going to be Technician. We use Technician for one particular item, and that is the linked laser pointer. The linked laser pointer will pulse targets when you're aiming at them. That's the whole point of this build, is the pulse. That's the kind of bread and butter, the main part of this build, and you'll see why as we go through it. But this is why we're running Technician, and with that we even get an extra skill tier, which is pretty nice. You can't go wrong with making your skills a bit better. And we get increased damage to robotics, which is also a very clutch thing when you're going up against, you know, your warhounds and all those turrets and the kind of tedious enemies that you have to go through when playing. But now we'll move over to our weapons. So part 2 of this, which makes this build the Heartbreaker build, will be the Kingbreaker named Assault Rifle. So as you see here, we have maxed out cores, our attributes damage to targets out of cover, and this comes with our talent Perfect Flatline. Amplifies weapon damage by 20% to pulsed enemies. After 2 kills, applies pulse to the next enemy you hit. So we have our linked laser pointer attached to this weapon, so every enemy we are looking at, we are getting that increased 20% weapon damage, which is obviously amazing because the Kingbreaker is already a hard-hitting weapon. Now our secondary weapon will be the Scorpio. I normally would probably rock a lefty or a rock and roll because of the rate of fire and the amount of pellets that'll be put out to give you the armor bonus for Heartbreaker, but I'm using Scorpio just because of, well, it's just a broken shotgun overall. This comes with our talent Septic Shock. Shooting a target applies stacks of venom, which lasts for 10 seconds. Increasing stacks adds more severe debuffs to the target. 1 poison, 3 disorient, 6 shock, 7 targets take additional 20% damage from all sources. Stacks no longer increase after that. The duration of status effects is based on percentage of pellets hit on applying shot. So we're stunning our targets, especially our harder to hit targets, our named people, our chungas. This is what this is mainly for, kind of crowd control, because the enemies are kind of giving out a little more damage when they see us and everything, and I don't want to change my play style. So I try to find something and make something that'll still fit my playstyle, kind of running around, being in their face, but also staying alive. So it's an extra 20% damage from all sources once we hit max stacks on the Scorpio, which is amazing. And now our sidearm, you can generally use whatever sidearm. Now, going to the gear, we will actually start with the Heartbreaker, which we can go through what this does for Heartbreaker. I'm doing the mask, chest, gloves, and knee pads, as you can see. For the mask, you can look at my attributes here. The chest, you can look at my attributes here. Gloves and the knee pads. Now the way Heartbreaker works is like this. 2 pieces, we get extra 15% assault rifle and LMG damage. Obviously the LMG damage doesn't really matter because we were using an assault rifle. That's the part that matters the most. On a 3-piece, we have 15% weapon handling. A weapon like the Heartbreaker is a hard-hitting weapon, so weapon handling comes in clutch for this. And now we have our 4-piece. Headshots apply pulse for 5 seconds. Weapon hits on pulsed enemies add a stack of plus 1% bonus armor and plus 1% weapon damage to pulsed enemies up to a max of 50 stacks. 2 stacks are lost each second. So remember, with the Heartbreaker and the linked laser pointer, everyone we aim at is pulsed. So the headshot applies pulse kind of doesn't really matter. If we're aiming at them, they're pulsed. Now when we're shooting at these targets, we're adding stacks whenever we hit them. And as you can see, we can do a max stack of 50% bonus armor and 50% weapon damage. But now our chest piece has a talent itself, which is max BPM. Increase max stacks for Heartbreaker from 50 to 100. So now the way this is going to work is instead of 50% bonus armor and 50% weapon damage at max stacks for Heartbreaker, we're going to get 100% bonus armor and 100% weapon damage, which is obviously amazing. We're adding these stacks, we're increasing our weapon damage, we're making sure that Heartbreaker hits a little harder. Now, that's our Heartbreaker, that's our 4-piece. Now we move over to our Memento backpack. This is the God tier backpack. I don't use the backpack for Heartbreaker just because of my playstyle. I think the Memento fits a little better with the build, and it comes with the talent Kill Confirmed. Enemies you kill drop a trophy on death. Collecting trophies provides both a short and long-term buff, the first of which scales the number of core attributes equipped and lasts 10 seconds. Here you see 5% for weapon damage, 10% bonus armor, 5% skill efficiency depending on your cores. For every trophy collected, gain an additional 1% weapon damage, 1% skill efficiency, and 0.1% armor regen. Max is 30 stack. With the Memento having just 5 red cores, I will get 25% increased weapon damage. With 2 blue cores, I will get 20% bonus armor. Right? No, 10% bonus armor, I'm sorry. And I will get 5% skill efficiency. Now, after I collect trophies afterward, and at max stacks, I will get 0.3% armor regen, 30% skill efficiency, and 30% increased weapon damage. So as you can see, this whole build is just increasing stacks, making it stronger. Obviously, in the beginning of a fight, you will not be at your full potential until you're kind of in the dirt, and that's where you get the full potential of this build. Now, we will end this off with our skills, because remember, this is for this new event. So I'm Heartbreaker because we get that bonus armor and we're getting increased damage toward us, and obviously we're collecting Memento trophies. It's necessary with my playstyle, as you'll see in gameplay afterward. I like to run around. I don't really like to be in one place sitting stagnant just shooting from a distance. I prefer to be running around and killing the enemies. Very in your face playstyle. So with that being said, I am using the Crusader Shield. This will give me some protection when I'm running around, and as you can see with the mods, I get a small little increase in bonus damage. And I am using the decoy just to give myself some relief, because when the enemies are looking at you, you get that increased weapon damage. This gives me relief whenever the pressure is too high. Maybe I put myself in a bad position, or maybe I just made a dumb decision in general. The decoy will come in clutch and kind of help me out and give me that second chance. But that is the breakdown and overview of the build. Give you my stats here, sitting at 50% crit chance, 69% critical hit damage, and 75% headshot damage. And I am comfortable with this. As you can see in the gameplay, it works really well. It's really fun. And yeah, copy and paste this if you like it. Comment down below, please. If you can answer my question, please comment down below and let me know what you guys think of this build, and what are you running for SHD Exposed. I imagine there's a lot of different builds you can use for SHD Exposed, and you can have a blast with it. So like I said, hope you enjoy, and I'll see you all on the next one.
Tusk, or we could call it. Tusk was after. But the important thing is that we got it and they didn't. Well done.